actually a nice picture.
You can block me, right?
Okay, so we're gonna go to rational equations here. So a lot of times that you look at this, you say, hey, how do I solve all this? All the x is on denominator. You can only deal with number on denominator, but we're gonna deal with the x on denominator. So we're gonna say, hey, how do I handle this? But it's not bad. So you see here x, 3x, and 3. So we call this rational functions or equations, all right? Because there's equal sign, so there's rational equations. And we say, hey, we want to make sure we get rid of all the denominators at the same time. There is still denominator x, 3x, and 3. This is the first time I introduce you x on denominator, 3 on denominator. But the way you still do it the same way as you would do number 10. So we're going to look at question how to do number 10. If I were to do number 10 here, on the yesterday's homework, it's a 5x squared over 6 minus 7x over 2. And then it's equal to 2 over 3. Actually, it's equal to plus 2 over 3. It's equal to 0. So what I do is I multiply everything by 6, right? Because of least common denominator. Did you guys do that? For number 10? You should multiply the least common denominator, 6, 2, and 3. You gotta find a number can be divided by all three numbers at the same time. So that 6 and 6 is gonna cancel. So what I call it puff, puff, puff method. Everything's gonna be puffed away. So 6 and 6 cancel out, that's the 5x squared. 6 and 2 cancel out, that was 3. 3 times 7x is 21x. 6 and 3 cancel out, it's gonna be 2. That's gonna be plus 4, is equal to 0. I become a quadratic, I can use a box now. And now it's gonna be much easier to solve. This is gonna be 5x and x. 4 and 1 is going to be 20x and x. Negative, so it'll be 5x minus 1 plus 1 and x minus 4. And that's equal to 0, so x is equal to negative 1 over 5. X is equal to 4. So we know how to do this.
It's supposed to be negative 1? Because don't you need a positive?
Oh yeah, negative.
Isn't it equal to 6 and not 0?
It's equal to 0.
Then why is it in a box?
Oh.
This one's 1 over. This one 1 over 5. Where is it in the box?
Like when you take the puff at the top.
It's equal to 0.
Talking
Oh,
about
I
the
multiply
brackets.
by everything by 6.
Yeah, you don't multiply the 0? The 6.
The 0 times 6 is 0.
I need to Okay.
No, it's okay. Don't make the fun of it. You do the same thing. Look at your test. That's okay. Well, you make fun of it first. Okay, so now is apply the same logic. What do you think that these common denominator between x, 3x, and 3 is?
3x.
X, 3x, and 3. So they both have x, right? And they both have 3, so why don't I just say 3x? Yeah. So if I multiply by 3x, here's the one thing I think you should make sure you don't make a mistake. It's right here. There's a parenthesis right here. There's a parenthesis right here. You gotta be careful. There's a parenthesis right here. If you don't write a parenthesis, you forgot to distribute a negative sign. Okay? So that 3x times 3, what will happen? What will cancel? X will cancel. Yeah. Puff, gone, right? But you got 3 left. 3 times 3 is 9. Are we okay the first term? Can you do the second term? So 3x and 3x
Cancel.
cancel, but it's gonna be minus x plus 21, is that right?
Yeah.
No. Well, its puff is gone, but there's something else still there.
Yeah.
Parentheses.
The parentheses, there you go, because that sign is gonna distribute to both terms. And this is what people make mistake, it's the second sign, not the first sign. The first sign they're gonna have right. So 3x here, 3 and 3 cancel out, x left with a 5x here. And then that becomes an equation that you can solve. So that's gonna give you 6x is equal to minus 12, and then x equal to negative 2. Okay, you're gonna try this one here. Do it fast because we don't have a lot of time. Because 9 minus 21 is 12. So you're gonna do the bottom one, not the top one. So this is the example question for you guys to practice. Lenny's gonna watch this video. You want to give him a shout out to Lenny?
Shout out to Lenny, boy.
Had fun in Universal.
Wait, really?
He was in Universal, right?
How do you know?
He said it yesterday.
He did?
He
Oh
said
my
his
god.
cousin was trapped in
He was
Universal.
joking.
Wait,
Like,
my God.
He's probably at home right now.
Come on, I would go to the beach.
Should be red.
Chicken noodle.
21.
So we got somebody said answer is 21. Anybody else?
Wait.
I didn't do it. I don't know.
Wait, no. How about 7? 7.
Think of this. You didn't do it.
You're Mr. 7.
Everybody else said?
Yeah. Maybe, I don't know.
Jaden says 7. Jaden's your name, right?
Yeah.
So Jaden's 7. Anybody can get 7?
7.
Okay. Anybody else need help?
How much fish I gave you?
This is pretty easy.
I mean,
Wait till you say that now.
I mean,
Once he gets into pre-calculus, he's gonna be like, you
Wait,
can.
are we doing that one under? or the one
Yeah,
above?
underneath.
No, bake up.
oh, like, all the system.
This one here, practice this one.
Wait, did I do this? Can you check this?
Here, chicken. That's 7. That's 7? Okay.
Yeah,
Oh, that's money.
Oh.
Those are the things, these small
That's
details
nice.
that you guys need to make sure.
The
No,
land.
but, you know, like, some people, everybody can.
Why?
Some people can't, you can't, like.
And then first.
So you got it?
Yeah.
You go best, you know?
I bet you could mean.
Why would it not be 7?
So, you got it? All right, can I go to the next one?
Yeah.
Oh, I got it.
So we're gonna say this one's x equals 7, according to what everybody says, we're gonna assume that's right. But what about this one? What's the least common denominator in this case?
X minus 2.
Okay, so what will happen? But you gotta be careful with this one, we're gonna talk about why you gotta be careful with this one. I didn't do a practice question because you guys are gonna find out pretty quickly. Make sure you do your homework, you check your answer on decimals, because a decimal can tell you all the answers.
Oh my god, I see what you did. I see what you did.
What did he do?
The answer. I got the answer. It's not right. I know that you didn't that you didn't get the answer. No, I know what he did. It's not right.
So if I multiply by everything by x minus 2, if I multiply this by x minus 2, this will cancel out, right? Pop, done. X plus 6 equal to 2x plus 2, parentheses, so This one's equal to 2x plus 4, x plus 6. Subtract x, you're gonna get x plus 4 is equal to 6. Minus 4, x is equal to 2.
Yes.
But
Here we go.
you have to think about if x is equal to 2 is a real answer. What I will do is plug in those two and only focus on the denominator. You just only focus on right here.
Oh, you can have to be 0.
It'll be 0, but you cannot divide it by 0. In math sense, you can't divide it by 0. So therefore, x equal to 2 is extraneous.
Is there no answer?
Yes.
Yep, so there's no solutions here. So you always have to check the bottom. If you check the bottom you got a 0, that's automatic, that's not an answer. We're gonna talk about this one. Now here's the hard part, is how do you determine if there's LCD here? What's the LCD in this case?
2x squared minus x. Let's go.
So what's the LCD between 2x minus 1, x, and 2x minus 1?
X.
Well, x is one of them, but it's not all of them.
2x.
No, you have to have some term that can be divisible by x and 2x minus 1 same time. So what do you think the LCD is? So for example, if you have 1 over 2 minus 1 over 3, you need to both get to 6. So it's 2 times 3, right? So what will be this case?
So x squared minus,
What?
What is it?
I don't know.
You and Sai both have the same answer, but I don't like that answer. You said 2x squared minus x. I don't like that one.
Okay.
Why I don't like it?
It makes it
Okay,
complicated.
obviously.
I mean, I know it does, so.
Because nothing can cancel if you have 2x squared minus x.
Oh, okay.
You think too complicated. Why don't just keep as x times 2x minus 1 parenthesis here. Like this. I don't distribute together because I want to make sure I can puff down. Right? So if I multiply by the first term, what's going to go away?
2x minus
2x minus 1. Now what do you have left?
x.
X. So x is going to multiply by 2x. So left with the what?
2x squared.
That's it. You're going to do the same thing here. The x and the x is going to go away, right? And then 2x minus 1.
You're left with x.
And that becomes 2x squared plus 2x minus 1 equal to x. 2x squared minus x or plus x minus 1 equal to 0. And that's going to give you 2x, x plus 1, and the minus 1. X is equal to 1/2, x is equal to -1. So it's both answers, or only one of them, or both is not. And which one's not if there is something that's extraneous? Remember, you plug in all the denominator. Make sure they don't go to 0. If they go to 0, that means that's not a solution.
Probably. I'm noting it.
1/2 is extraneous. Because 1/2 times 2 is what? 1.
Oh, yeah.
1 minus 1 is going to give you 0. So this one is not a solution because when I go to here, it's done. That's 2 times 1/2. That's equal to 1. So 1 minus 1 is going to be 0. So if it causes denominator goes 0, then it's automatically not a solution. -1 will never happen here. It's not going to cause 0, not going to cause 0, therefore it's 0. It's okay. You can try with this one, see what happens, and then we're going to go to the next one.
You already did it?
Well, yeah. Wait, are we doing a different question now?
Down there, the second one down there,
I'm sorry.
below the black.
You did it?
Oh, I did it. I'm starting now.
Just to find the balance point.
That's gonna do it.
I don't think so. I think the balance point.
It's all about See? Told you. Come on, even more. There you go. Oh, no, a little bit more, a little bit more.
Do the double whip.
Yeah, oh, no, a little back, a little back.
Do the double whip, mister.
Do the double whip.
Double whip.
Whip.
The camera was not there.
Camera's not there, so that's how we should realize this.
It's like this?
If only the camera was right there. I can't completely turn it. I got to turn it back. I mean, you could have done the like. Okay, right. Excuses. I know what you mean.
What'd you guys get?
We were laughing at you for a second, so.
Negative
that's
1
fine.
is the real solution.
What'd you get?
Negative 1 is the real solution.
Negative one's not solution?
No, it's a real solution.
Oh, negative one's a real solution?
And 1 out of 5 is extraneous.
5 is not extraneous.
No, 1 over 5.
1 over 5 is, yeah.
There's 5 solutions?
2.
That's what I said.
There's only one real solution.
Yeah.
The other one is extraneous.
What time is it?
You have to do the box method for this one.
Okay, I already know.
Yeah.
You might have to.
118?
118. Why can't you leave at this time? Just go home.
Anybody need help?
I'm very bad with that box.
Yeah.
I suck at box.
Really? What was the other one? The one that we learned from Davis.
STX.
I mean, kind of did, not really.
She didn't
Okay,
teach,
so-
really. She just gave out worksheets. And that
Yeah,
packet
it's
under the
flashy
year
in
was
that class
so
too.
annoying.
I mean, what's it no?
That fat ass review packet.
Yeah, it's
Okay,
it's
so-
got the answers at the end anyways.
Andrea, what do I multiply here?
X, and then times, okay, in parentheses, X, and then other parentheses, 5X minus 1.
So this one's gonna go away, right?
Yes.
So it's pretty much 5x squared. And x go away, so it's gonna be 5x minus 1. But there's a positive sign, I distributed, so it's fine. If the negative sign, you have to worry about this parenthesis. In this case, no. So I guess it's gonna be x. So it'll be 5x squared plus 4x minus 1.
Mm-hmm.
And then you should have factors, so it'll be 5x and x, and this one's 1, and this one's negative 1, I think.
Yes.
X is equal to 1 over 5, x is equal to negative 1. So they're not both answer, but this one's extraneous because you plug in here and then constant to find. Negative 1 is only 1. The next one, you have the factor, right? The denominator. So anytime denominator has more than one thing, I will factor this. Because I factor this, it's gonna make my life easier. So I will write down, make sure you guys factor the denominator first. Because nothing I can factor out the previous question. Factor the denominator. So then I'll get 2x over x minus 3. And I'll plus 6 minus 2x. Factor x squared minus 9. That's going to be x plus 3. And then x minus 3. And it's equal to x over x plus 3. So now I can see that these common denominator are a lot more easier. As opposed to before, I cannot see anything these common denominator. I see 3 different things there. So the first step is always factor the denominator. So what's my LCD? Yep. So then I'm going to apply to the everything. So it's going to be x plus 3, x minus 3. And if I distribute it, pop, gone. Right? Puff, puff, gone. It's kind of fun. And then puff, gone. x times x minus 3. And then that becomes, there's no fraction. So that's a very powerful tool to you guys. Multiply everything by LCD, everything's gone. Because this is equal sign, so it's like a seesaw. So you apply both things at the same time, you're done. So this one's gonna be 2x squared plus 6x, and then plus 6 minus 2x is equal to x squared minus 3x. I will move everything to this side, I'll minus x squared here, and a plus 3x and plus 3x here. So that's gonna give you x squared plus 9x minus 2x, so it's gonna be 7x and plus 6 is equal to 0. Your factor should be x plus 6 and x plus 1 is equal to 0. X should be equal to -6 or -1. If you plug in both of them, there's nothing that cause denominator going 0, so therefore it's not a solution. You're gonna try this one here, but they are pretty much a simple process. Make sure you factor the bottom. The previous question didn't need to require factoring, but your homework today is gonna require for you to factor it. We're not gonna give you a super difficult one, because I'm not gonna test the super difficult one. But I'm gonna test you this part, all the way to here.
Alright, I see.
The only thing is you have to factor it. Yeah.
There's always homework, no matter what he does, no matter what we do.
But you should always check if there's a solution or not.
And I also have a letter.
Okay, fine.
Deposit this. Somebody, don't share it. That's it? Okay, bye guys.